I need you to stop right now and listen carefully to this. Because if you are doing keto and you have not watched this video yet, there is a very good chance you are making at least one of the mistakes I am about to tell you about. And those mistakes are not just keeping you from losing weight. They are silently slowing down your metabolism in ways you simply cannot see with your own eyes. A study from Duke University Medical Center followed more than 340 adults over the age of 55 for 18 full months, and it found that people who made 3 or more common keto mistakes had a metabolism that was up to 23% slower than the group who did things right, even though both groups were eating the exact same number of calories. Did you catch that? 23%. That means your body is burning less energy every single day, and you have no idea it is even happening. So the big question is, how many of these 16 mistakes are you making right now? Stay with me, because in today's video, I am going to walk through every single one, explain why each of them is dangerous, and more importantly, I am going to show you exactly how to fix them starting today. Mistake number 1, not reading ingredients. Welcome to the very first mistake, and this is one that almost everyone who starts keto makes. You walk into the grocery store, you see a package that says low carb or keto friendly right there on the front, and you think, all right, looks good, toss it in the cart. But friend, that is exactly the trap. Because what is printed big and bold on the front of that package is just marketing, and the truth is hiding on the back, in that tiny little ingredients list that most people completely ignore. When you flip it over and actually read it, you will find all kinds of hidden sugars sneaking around under strange-sounding names like maltodextrin, dextrose, corn syrup, sucrose, or fructose. Those names might sound unfamiliar, but they are all sugar, they are all carbs, and every single one of them can knock you right out of ketosis that you spent an entire week working to get into. So starting today, make it a habit to flip every single thing you buy over to the back. Check the total carbohydrates line first, then scan the ingredients list to see if any form of sugar is hiding in there. It only takes about 30 seconds, but it can save your entire week of dieting. Mistake number 2, not looking at the serving size. Now, even if you already read the label, there is still another trap waiting for you right there on that same label, and that is the serving size. For example, you pick up a bag of macadamia nuts, you look at the label, and it says 2 grams of carbs, and you think, great, I can eat as much as I want. But wait, that 2 grams is for one serving, and one serving on that label is only about 1 ounce, which is just a small handful. The problem is most people do not stop at one handful. You grab another handful and then another, and suddenly you have taken in 10 or 12 grams of carbs while thinking you only had 2. This happens with so many keto foods like cheese, nut butter, or packaged keto snacks. The fix is simple. Use a kitchen scale, or at the very least, use measuring spoons so you actually know how much you are eating. You do not have to measure everything forever, but in those first few weeks, it helps you understand what a real serving actually looks like on your plate. Mistake number 3, judging success by weight loss alone. Now we are getting to a mistake that I see so many people make, especially those over 50 years old, and it causes them to feel unnecessarily discouraged. That mistake is only looking at the scale to judge whether keto is working for you. You step on the scale, the number has not moved, and you immediately think you are failing. But the truth is, your body weight is just one of many things that are changing inside your body right now. When you do keto, your body starts rebuilding muscle while burning fat. And muscle is denser and heavier than fat by volume. So you might lose 3 inches off your waist while the number on the scale stays the same or even goes up slightly. And there are so many other positive signs that the scale will never show you, like more stable blood sugar, better quality sleep, a clearer and sharper mind, less joint pain, and steadier energy throughout the whole day. So instead of only watching the scale, track your waist measurement too. Notice whether your clothes are getting looser and listen to what your body is telling you. That is the full picture. Mistake number 4, comparing your results with others. Building on what I just said, we arrive at mistake number 4. And this is a very common psychological trap in the age of social media. You go on Facebook or YouTube, you see someone showing off that they lost 15 pounds in their very first month of keto, and then you look at yourself and you have only lost 4 pounds, and you start thinking you must be doing something wrong. Friend, every single body is a completely different story. A 35-year-old and a 62-year-old have different metabolic rates. Someone who has more fat to burn will drop weight faster in the beginning. Women and men respond differently to the same diet. Someone with a thyroid condition will have a completely different journey. Even two people who are the exact same age, same height, and same weight can have very different responses to keto because of genetics, health history, and hormones. Your story is yours, and yours alone, and that is the only story worth paying attention to. Compare yourself to who you were last week, not to a stranger on the internet. Mistake number 5, not having enough sea salt. This is a mistake that catches a lot of people completely off guard, and it actually explains why so many people who start keto feel tired, get headaches, experience muscle cramps, and feel dizzy in those first few days, a set of symptoms that people often call the keto flu. When you cut your carbs, your body stops holding on to water the way it used to, and when that water leaves, it takes important minerals right along with it, especially sodium, or in plain terms, salt. This causes your blood pressure to drop, your muscles do not have enough electrolytes to work properly, and your brain feels like it is running on empty. And the mistake so many people make is thinking that salt is bad for you, so they cut back on salt even more while doing keto. But when you are on keto, your body actually needs more sodium than normal, not less. The fix is simple. Add a small amount of natural sea salt, about 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon, into a glass of water and drink it every morning, especially during those first few weeks. You will be amazed at how quickly those keto flu symptoms disappear. Mistake number 6, having a cheat day. All right, I need to be completely honest with you about a trap that is very sweet but extremely dangerous for keto, and that is the cheat day. You have been disciplined all week long, and you think the reward is letting yourself have pizza and dessert on Saturday. Sounds fair, right? But here is what is actually happening inside your body. For your body to reach full ketosis, the state where you are burning fat instead of sugar, it takes roughly 2 to 4 days of strict keto eating. When you have a cheat day, you bring carbs back in, your body immediately switches back to burning sugar, and the entire ketosis building process you worked so hard for just collapses. To get back to that state, you need another 2 to 4 days all over again. So in a 7-day week, you are actually spending only about 2 to 3 days in real fat burning mode. No wonder the results come slowly. If you are genuinely craving something, find the keto version of it instead of completely blowing up your plan. Mistake number 7, having too much or not enough fat. Keto is often called a high-fat diet, and that is true, but it does not mean you can eat as much fat as you want without thinking about it, and it also does not mean eating less fat is better. This is one of the most delicate balancing acts in keto. If you eat too little fat, your body does not have enough fuel to function, and you will constantly feel hungry, tired, and drained of energy. But if you eat too much fat, especially the unhealthy kinds like refined vegetable oils, you are taking in too many calories, and your body no longer has any reason to burn your stored fat because it already has plenty of fuel coming in from all the fat you just ate. The sweet spot is eating enough healthy fat to feel satisfied and energized, but not so much that your body has no motivation to tap into its own fat reserves. Good fat sources for keto include avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts like macadamia and pecans, and fatty fish like salmon. Listen to your body, eat when you are hungry, and stop when you are full. That is the most fundamental rule of all. Mistake number 8, having too much protein. This is a mistake I see a lot of people make, especially those who are used to the mindset of eating lots of protein to lose weight and maintain muscle. Protein is great, that is absolutely true, but on keto, having too much protein is also a real problem. The reason is that your body has a fascinating mechanism where when you eat more protein than your body actually needs, the excess gets converted into sugar inside your liver through a process you do not need to memorize. You just need to know that it raises your blood sugar and can push you right out of ketosis, even if you have not eaten a single gram of carbs. So how much protein is enough? A practical rule of thumb is roughly 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. If you weigh 180 pounds, that works out to somewhere around 108 to 144 grams of protein per day. No more than that. Enough to preserve your muscle, enough to keep your body running well, but not so much that it breaks your ketosis. Mistake number 9, not doing intermittent fasting with keto. Now, we are getting to a point that a lot of people completely miss, And this is one of those things that can make the biggest difference in your entire keto journey. That thing is intermittent fasting. Keto and intermittent fasting are the best friends in the world. And when you combine them, they create a fat burning effect that is far more powerful than either one on its own. A study conducted at the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University followed 108 people between the ages of 65 and 74, and it found that those who combined a low-carb diet with an 8-hour eating window each day lost 31% more belly fat compared to the group that only did the diet alone. The simplest way to start is to have your first meal around noon and finish eating by 8 in the evening. That means you are fasting for 16 hours total, but 8 of those hours you are asleep. So in reality, you are only extending your fast by about 8 waking hours. Not as scary as it sounds, right? Mistake number 10, basing ketosis on urine strips. All right, this is a topic I really need to clear up because a lot of people are wasting money and confusing themselves for absolutely no reason. Many people buy urine strips to check whether they are in ketosis or not. The problem is that urine strips measure ketones in your urine, but after just a few weeks of doing keto, your body becomes much more efficient at using those ketones, which means fewer ketones get flushed out into your urine because your body is actually using all of them up. The result is that the strip starts giving you low or negative readings, and you think you have fallen out of ketosis, when in reality your body is burning fat extremely well. If you truly want an accurate measurement of ketosis, a blood ketone meter is your best option. But honestly, for most people, the most reliable method is simply listening to your body. Is your mind clear and sharp? Is your energy stable throughout the day? Are you constantly hungry or not? Those signals tell you far more than any urine strip ever will. Mistake number 11, giving up when it is working. This is one of the most heartbreaking mistakes I have ever witnessed, and I have seen it happen dozens of times with people I know personally. Here is how it goes. You have been doing keto for 2 to 3 weeks. The weight came off nicely in that first week, but by week 3, it seems like nothing is changing anymore. You start to feel frustrated, and you tell yourself that keto just is not working for you anymore, and then you quit. What most people do not realize is that this plateau period is actually when your body is making its deepest internal changes, the kind that do not show up on the scale right away. Your body is restructuring how it processes energy, recalibrating your hormones, and rebuilding its enzyme systems to burn fat more efficiently. This period where your weight does not seem to move typically lasts anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. And right after it, many people experience the most dramatic and visible results of their entire journey. So please do not give up right when your body is working its hardest for you. Mistake number 12, changing something when it is working. On the flip side of mistake number 11, we have mistake number 12, and it is just as common. This is when keto is actually going well for you. You are losing weight, you are feeling great, and then you read an article saying the way you are doing keto is not the real way, or a friend tells you they are trying a different version of keto and getting even better results. So you start making changes, adding this, removing that, testing something new, and this breaks the entire balance your body was slowly finding for itself. Keto is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It is a personal journey, and each person discovers over time what works best for their own body. When you find something that is genuinely working for you, do not change it just because something else sounds more appealing. If it is not broken, do not fix it. Write down what is working well and keep it consistent until you have a real reason to make an adjustment. Mistake number 13, eating when you are not hungry. One of the most wonderful things about keto is that it naturally reduces your cravings and your sense of hunger. A lot of people doing keto say they suddenly only feel like eating 2 meals a day instead of 3, and they feel completely fine, not hungry or tired at all. This is natural and entirely healthy. But here is the problem. So many people still continue eating out of habit, out of routine, out of the clock, rather than out of actual hunger. It is noon, I guess I should eat lunch, even though you are not hungry at all. It is dinner time, so I need to eat dinner, even though you are still full from lunch. When you eat on keto without being truly hungry, you are adding unnecessary calories and telling your body that it does not need to burn stored fat because fresh fuel has just arrived. Start practicing something simple. Before every meal, pause for 30 seconds and ask yourself whether you are genuinely hungry or just eating because it is time to eat. That honest answer will change a lot of things. Mistake number 14. Estimation of effort and time is incorrect. Now, I want to be honest with you about something that not many YouTube channels actually say out loud, because it is not what people want to hear, but I think you need to know it so you do not feel unnecessary disappointment. Keto is not an overnight miracle solution. It takes time, patience, and a little bit of effort to figure out what works best for your specific body. A study from Brigham and Women's Hospital at Harvard University followed more than 200 people over the age of 55 and found that those who set realistic expectations about their rate of weight loss were twice as likely to still be sticking to their diet after 12 months compared to those who expected fast results. What that means is that you need to think of keto as a new lifestyle, not a short-term diet. Losing 1 to 2 pounds per week is a completely healthy and sustainable pace, especially for anyone over 50 years old. Give your body the time it genuinely needs to adapt and change. Mistake number 15, hunger versus time to eat. This mistake might sound similar to mistake number 13, but it is actually a different and much more subtle issue. In everyday life, most of us have gotten so used to eating by the clock rather than by real hunger. You eat breakfast at 7 in the morning because that is just what you do. You eat lunch at noon because your coworkers are heading out. You eat dinner at 6 in the evening because that is family time. But after several weeks of doing keto, your body starts to develop a completely different hunger rhythm, and there is a good chance it no longer lines up with those traditional meal times. When you ignore your body's natural hunger signals and replace them with a rigid eating schedule, you are making something unnecessarily complicated that should actually be very natural. The simplest practice is this. Before every meal, pause for 30 seconds and honestly ask yourself, am I actually hungry right now? Or am I just eating because it is that time of day? An honest answer to that one question can genuinely change a lot. Mistake number 16. Consuming small amounts of carbs. And here we are at the final mistake, but certainly not the least important one. In fact, I believe this is one of the most overlooked and silently damaging mistakes of all. That is consuming small amounts of carbs, amounts that seem completely harmless without even noticing. You think just one small bite of bread, just one spoonful of sauce, just a little ketchup, no big deal. But here is what is happening inside your body. Your brain and your body are in keto fat-burning mode. Everything is running smoothly. And then you introduce a small amount of carbs, even just 5 or 10 grams. For some people, especially those over 60 years old with lower insulin sensitivity, that amount of carbs is enough to pull your body out of ketosis or at the very least significantly slow down your fat-burning process. And because the amount is so small, you do not notice it, you do not write it down, and you have no idea why your results are not matching your expectations. The solution is this. For at least the first 30 days, be as strict as you can possibly be about your carb intake. Once your body has fully adapted, you will have a much clearer sense of exactly where your personal tolerance level is. And that is all 16 mistakes that I have seen people make again and again on their keto journey. And I hope that right now you have everything you need to avoid them or to go back and correct the ones you have already been making. I want you to remember one thing. Keto is not a competition to see who gets there the fastest or who does it the most perfectly. This is your personal journey at your own pace, and every single day that you learn something new about your own body is a successful day. Do not be too hard on yourself, be patient, and trust the process. Now, if this video was helpful to you, I genuinely want to ask you one thing. Please share it with your family, your friends, or anyone you know who is doing keto and not seeing the results they hoped for, because there is a very good chance they are making one of these mistakes without even realizing it. Hit the like button so this video can be recommended to more people who need to hear this, because this information deserves to reach as many people as possible. And do not forget to subscribe so we can meet again in the next piece of advice, because I always have more that I want to share with you. I am Dr. Saul Whitman, and I will see you in the next video.